She stood in front of the mirror that night, adjusting her earrings, her lips curved in a faint smile. But there was something about her eyes that felt distant, like they were somewhere else. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now, looking back, I remember that moment as if it were carved into my memory. She looked stunning, dressed in a soft blue gown, her hair falling gracefully over her shoulders. I told her she looked beautiful, and she just gave me that small, distracted smile, the kind of smile that hides more than it reveals. She said she had to attend her boss's party. It was important, she insisted, and she didn't want to be late. I nodded, trying not to show the unease twisting inside me. Something about the way she said it felt cold, like it was more of an obligation than a choice. I offered to drive her, but she shook her head quickly, almost too quickly, and said her colleagues would be there, so it was fine. She kissed my cheek lightly, picked up her purse, and walked out the door. That was the last time I saw her as the woman I thought I knew. The hours passed slowly that night. I sat in the living room, the clock ticking louder with every passing minute. Midnight came, then 1, then 2 in the morning. I called her phone once, twice, 3 times, but there was no answer. I told myself she must have stayed late at the party. Maybe her phone had died. I tried to sleep, but every creak of the house kept me awake. Something didn't feel right. By morning, there was still no sign of her. No call, no text, nothing. I made breakfast, but it went untouched. I called her phone again, and this time, it went straight to voicemail. A cold shiver ran down my spine. I tried to convince myself she had just stayed over at a colleague's place. Maybe she had too much to drink, but the longer the silence stretched, the heavier the weight on my chest became by the second day. My worry had grown into panic. I drove by her office, hoping maybe she had gone in early, but her desk was empty. One of her coworkers said she hadn't shown up, and they assumed she had taken a day off. I forced a smile, pretending everything was fine, but inside I was breaking. I drove around the city, past every cafe she liked, every spot we used to visit, hoping to see her sitting there, sipping coffee, or lost in thought by the window. But she wasn't anywhere. That night, I sat in her empty chair at the dining table, staring at the plate I had set out for her, untouched. The silence in the house was unbearable. Every corner whispered her absence. I picked up her scarf from the couch, held it against my face, and breathed in her scent. I wanted to believe she was okay, but deep down, fear had already taken root. On the 3rd day, I could no longer hold back. I went to the police. I described everything. Her dress, the party she was supposed to attend, the time she left. They listened, wrote things down, and told me to wait. But waiting was all I had been doing, and it was tearing me apart. I begged them to search, to check if anyone had seen her. They promised to investigate, but their calm tone only made me feel more helpless. I left the station with a storm inside me. I decided to go to her boss's house myself, the place where the party was held. I had never been there before, but I found the address easily. The house was enormous, standing tall with glass walls and expensive cars lined up outside. When I rang the bell, a woman opened the door. She looked surprised to see me. "I'm looking for her," I said, my voice shaking. The woman frowned. The party ended early. Everyone left around midnight. She wasn't here long. Her words hit me like a knife. She wasn't there long. So where had she gone? I walked back to my car, my hands trembling as I gripped the steering wheel. My mind was spinning with questions, each one heavier than the last. Had she left with someone? Did something happen on her way back? Every possibility felt worse than the one before. I barely slept that night. My body was exhausted, but my mind wouldn't rest. I replayed our last conversation over and over. The way she avoided my eyes, the quick goodbye kiss, the faint smile that didn't reach her heart. Was she hiding something? On the morning of the 4th day, something strange happened. A letter arrived. There was no name on it, no return address, just my name written in her handwriting. My hands shook as I tore it open. Inside, the words blurred as tears filled my eyes. She wrote that she needed time, that she was sorry, that she felt trapped in a life she couldn't understand anymore. She said the party had been a turning point, a moment where she realized she couldn't keep pretending. She didn't say where she was, only that I shouldn't look for her. I sat on the floor, the letter clutched in my hands, my heart breaking with every word. I couldn't believe it. She had left me, not because of someone else, but because she felt lost inside herself. The party wasn't just a party, it was her escape. 4 days after, I wandered through the house like a ghost, every corner echoing with her absence. I wanted to hate her for leaving, for breaking me without warning, but a part of me still loved her too much. That part refused to let go. I realized then that life can change in a single night. One moment you're watching someone walk out the door, believing they'll come back, and the next, you're holding a letter that shatters everything you thought you knew. And in those 3 days of silence, I discovered something I had never faced before: the fragility of love, the pain of being left without answers, and the strength it takes to stand when your heart has been torn apart. So if you've ever felt abandoned, if you've ever waited for someone who never came back, know this: you're not alone. I lived it, I breathed it, and though it changed me forever, I'm still here, still standing, still learning how to heal. And that is why I ask you, stay with me till the end, because sometimes the endings we never expected are the ones that shape us the most. Watch till the end, because sometimes the hardest goodbyes teach us the deepest lessons.